of you are familiar with Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So, just recite after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam second. This is the first canto, chapter 2. We will be discussing chapter 2, and last week we discussed the first chapter, the summary of the first chapter. So today we will try to discuss something from chapter 2, and this chapter 2 is entitled as a divinity and divine service. This is a very nice chapter. So I am just getting this chapter. Okay. So in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the beginning, the first chapter of Bhagavatam is very in the first chapter, Sutta Goswami tells about that first chapter is there are different sages are there in Naimisaranya. So they ask some question to Sutta Goswami. So that is actually explained in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why the first chapter is entitled as the question by the sages. So just like Bhagavad Gita, also Bhagavad Gita is mainly what is Bhagavad Gita? That is the question answer between the Krishna and Arjuna, right? Arjuna is asking some questions and Krishna is answering that. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is also the question answer session between sages and that Sutta Goswami. Then after that, between the Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. So in the first chapter, the Naimisaranya, in Naimisaranya, there are thousands of rishis they assembled. When they assembled? In the beginning of Kali Yuga. When the Kali Yuga was beginning, then all the rishis from the earth, they assembled in Naimisaranya. Naimisaranya is still there in UP. And that station named is Nimsa. Is the place. Naimisaranya is a place. So now that place is known as Nimsa in UP. That is the station code there. So in Naimisaranya, all the great sages they assembled there. Why they assembled? To find some welfare activity for the society. Because when Krishna departed from this world, so all the rishis were thinking now what will happen to people, because as soon as Krishna went away from this earth, Kali Yuga came with the force, great force, and all activities are going to be inauspicious after that. Everything is inauspicious as soon as Krishna departed. So that time all the rishis they assembled there and they asked six questions. So we should remember these are the 6 basic questions asked by the rishis in Naimisaranya to Sutta Goswami. So what are the 6 questions? The first question is, what is the ultimate good for the humanity? The first question they ask is, what is the good for the society? Ultimate good. Ultimate good. So there are so many good things we see in this world. And generally these rishis are actually not self-centered. They are society. They are thinking about society. That's why they are asking this type of question. If we have some opportunity to ask some question to some sadhu, what kind of question we ask? How I will get profit in my business? How I will make some progress in my life? This type of question we ask to sadhus. But these great sadhus, they assembled not for their own benefit, but for the welfare of society. So the first question they asked was, what is the ultimate good for the society? The second question they asked, was, why Lord Krishna, what are the different pastime of Krishna? They asked, what are the different pastimes? Wonderful pastime Lord Krishna performed, different leelas. And what the different leela Krishna performed? Then they asked the third question, what are the different pastime or incarnation of Krishna in relation to creation? How this creation is happening in relation to that? How this world was created, Srishti, regarding this Srishti. So this was the third question. Then the fourth question they asked, was about the fourth question they asked about the different like after when Krishna will departed from this world, where this religious principle will take shelter, where these religious principles will take shelter. Like that, he asks different questions. There are total 6 questions. So in this second chapter, chapter 2, that is the divinity and divine service, here we will get some answers from there. So now Vyas, the first chapter is Sutta Goswami speaks. The first verse is Sutta Goswami is speaking. So what will happen in the second chapter? In the second chapter, first Sutta Goswami offers pranam, offers obeisances to his guru. Who is guru of Sutta Goswami? Sukadeva Goswami. So he offers prayer to him. Because whenever we are doing some good things or something we are going to do in our life, then the very important thing is we should pray. Pray for the mercy. Because without mercy, nothing is going to happen. So Sutta Goswami was asking for the benediction, for the prayer. He was doing prayer to Sutta Goswami. Then he offers prayer to Ved Vyas also. Ved Vyas. Then then ultimately he offers his prayer to Krishna, Lord Krishna, because he is the ultimate God, right? So he do like that. So let's read from the chapter text number 1. So in the text 1, Sutta Goswami said, the son of Romaharshan, being fully satisfied by the perfect questions of the Brahmanas, thanked them and thus attempt a reply. So Vyasdeva was saying, Sutta Goswami first heard these questions very carefully, right? Because whenever he had to answer some question, first of all, he had to understand the question properly. Right? Without understanding the question, can you able to answer that question? No. The first you had to understand the question. So Sutta Goswami first heard these questions very patiently, and after hearing these questions, Sutta Goswami was very much satisfied. Like, why he was satisfied? Because the quality of question is such wonderful. These type of questions are really going to satisfy the heart of someone, because these questions are genuine question, and these questions are going to help everyone everyone all over the world. All the people will get satisfied by these answers, by the answers of this question. That's why this Sutta Goswami was very much satisfied. Just like whenever you will meet some sadhu, great sadhu, so when you ask them questions, so ask questions which are not just like some material question, right? You cannot expect some sadhu just to fulfill your material desire, right? Why the sadhus are there in the society? To uplift our consciousness, right? To uplift our consciousness. So Sutta Goswami is very much satisfied. Similarly, whenever we are meeting some sadhu, whenever we meet devotees, we should ask question. What kind of question we should ask? Questions which will elevate our consciousness, which will help us to uplift us from this material platform, right? Not just to keep us in the material platform. So now Sutta Goswami says, second verse, Sutta Goswami says, Srila Sutta Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sages, Sukadeva Goswami. Because I just like I said, what Sutta Goswami is doing, he is offering his obeisances to his guru. So similarly, whenever we are doing something good thing, auspicious thing, or doing some class, then we should offer our prayers to our spiritual master. So he says about the Sukdev Goswami. Who is Sukdev Goswami? He says, Sukdev Goswami is like, who can enter the heart of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyas ashram, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread, other ceremonies observed by the higher caste, his father Vyasdev, fearing separation from him, cried out, "O my son, indeed only the trees which are absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in the response of the begrieved father." So some Sutta Goswami is telling something. He is glorifying his spiritual master. Who is his spiritual master? Sukdev Goswami. You have heard about Sukdev Goswami? Something you may have heard. Sukdev Goswami. So he says, you may have heard that Sukdev Goswami, as soon as he took birth, he ran away to the forest, right? He ran away to the forest. Just like and for how long he was in the womb of his mother, Sukdev Goswami? For the 16 years, he was in the womb of his mother. And he was fearing to come out from the womb. Why? Because he was actually Brahma Bhuta. He was realized a soul, and he was thinking, when I will come out from the womb to this material world, what will happen? I will get bound by these material things. I will get bound by this material relationship. That's why it is better to be inside the womb. For the 16 years. After 16 years, Vedvyas prayed. Vedvyas said, "Oh, my child, please come out. Don't be inside." So he came out. As soon as he came out, what he did? He ran away to the forest. He said, "I don't know who is my father, who is my mother. I just know this Brahman. And I just know what is Brahman. I have to search out for the Brahman." You know? Like that. And he was running. And behind, Vedvyas was calling, "My son, please, wait. Stop."
What is the name of the son?
Sukdev Goswami. So Vedvyas was running behind, calling. So, like 16, there is no need for him any kind of reformation. He was not an ordinary child. Sukdev Goswami. He further says about his spiritual master, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances to him," that Sukdev Goswami, the spiritual master of all the sages. So Sukdev Goswami is the guru of all the sages. When he was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, everyone was there in the assembly. Narad Muni was present, even the Vedvyas was there. Big rishis, they were hearing from Sukdev Goswami. How old Sukdev was that time? Just 16, 17 years. Just a young boy. So that is the power of bhakti actually. When someone is realized in spiritual knowledge, everyone want to hear from him. Because this is the spiritual energy, spiritual power. Spiritual power is something, this spiritual knowledge is not found like something, just like how we can recognize who is older. There are different ways to recognize who is older. So one person can be older just by age, right? Someone is 50 years old, then he is older. But other ways are, if someone is wise, someone is jnani, then he is also considered older. Someone is in higher position, high post, then he is also considered old. One should offer respect to him. So like that, Sukdev Goswami was great in knowledge. So he says, the spiritual master of all the sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for this gross materialist who struggled to cross over the darkest region of the material existence, spoke this great confidential supplement to the cream of this Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by his experience. So Sukdev Goswami जो है, then afterward he heard this great Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Ved Vyas, है ना, वेद व्यास उन्होंने सुना. Then afterward he spoke this knowledge to Parikshit Maharaj, and during that conversation Sutta Goswami was there, and now this Sutta Goswami heard that, and now he will speak this to this rishis in the Naimisaranya. So he was offering, before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very means of concept, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead, Nar Narayan. Nar Narayan Rishi, you know, Nar and Narayan. These are the great rishis. Nar is Arjuna and Narayan is Krishna himself. The supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasdev, the author. So he was offering prayers. Okay. So like that he offers prayers, so many prayers. Then he said, Munaya sadhu prishtoyam Bhagavat bhirloka mangalam yat kita Krishna samprishno yatma suprashidhati. So he said, oh sages, वहाँ पर जितने लोग थे, he is addressing them. Oh sages, I have been just questioned by you. You just asked me some questions. This is text number 5. You just asked me some questions, and your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna. Your questions are not just ordinary questions. Why your questions are not ordinary? Because your questions are related to Krishna. So whenever something we are speaking in this world, and that sentence, that substance will be connected with Krishna, then that thing is worthy. Otherwise, that is just useless. Here, Sukdev Goswami, Sud Goswami is saying like that. Just like nowadays, you see so many politics, newspaper, news channels, they are talking so many things, but that things are not related to Krishna. That things are not related to ultimate benefit. So that's why Sud Goswami was saying that is worthless, no use, useless. But what question you ask, na, that questions are worthy because these are related to Krishna. Relevance to the world welfare. This is the welfare of everyone. Welfare of all. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. जो questions है, जो उन्होंने पूछा है, these questions are going to satisfy the heart of people. You will get satisfaction by hearing this. Rather, if somebody is there outside, if he is hearing news every day, he will never get into satisfied. आप देखो कोई न्यूज चैनल सुनता रहता है किसी न्यूज को, तो कभी वो सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलता है उसको कि वाह क्या सुना आज, मजा आ गया? नो ना, कभी नहीं. Rather he will also get that anxiety. अरे यहाँ भी ये हो गया, यहाँ भी हो गया, ये भी हो गया, इधर एक्सीडेंट उधर एक्सीडेंट, है. Because these things are not related to Krishna. That's why now he says in the next verse, text number 6, he says, what is the duty of every living entity? And Sutta Goswami says, Savai Pumsha Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Adhokshaje Ahaytukiya Pratihata Yatma Suprasiddhati. बोलते हैं, the supreme occupation, the dharma, the duty of every living entity, हम सभी जीवात्माओं का जो real dharma है, what is the duty? He says, this is for all humanity, that by which man can attain the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So, Sutta Goswami says, the real duty of every living entity is, what is the real duty? Is to perform devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Because performing the devotional service unto the transcendent Lord, that Supreme Lord, one will get satisfied within the heart. He will get that satisfaction. जब तक वो भगवान की भक्ति में that loving devotional service will not come, he will never get that satisfaction. He will always be disturbed. And how he should perform this loving devotional service? Bhakti कैसे करना है? अहेतुकी अप्रतिहता, unmotivated and uninterrupted. Unmotivated means without any motivation. Without any motivation यानी कि without any reservation. Not like कि oh Krishna please give me this kind of benediction then I will perform your bhakti. No, without motivation, no motivation. Why I am performing bhakti? Just to please Krishna. That is actually called ahetuki, without any reservation, without any motivation. This is the first qualification. What is the second qualification of the this loving devotional service? The second is uninterrupted. Uninterrupted means ahetuki apratihata. Uninterrupted means not like today I was chanting, today I will chant, tomorrow I will not chant. Today I am happy, so I will chant 20 rounds. Tomorrow I will be unhappy, so tomorrow I will not chant. आज अच्छा लग रहा है तो मंदिर आऊंगा, कल अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है तो मंदिर नहीं. This is interruption. That is interruption. So one should perform bhakti uninterrupted. Uninterrupted means whatever condition I may be, I will do my duty, and that duty is to perform loving devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That Sutta Goswami says. That once that kind of bhakti if someone is doing, then he will get satisfaction. He will be completely satisfied. He will be completely satisfied within the heart, and he will be just happy. Satisfy the self. Like you see, everyone wants satisfaction in this world, right? Everyone wants, and everyone is searching for the satisfaction only. But nobody knows that password, how to get that satisfaction. So Sud Goswami is saying that occupation, supreme occupation, just by doing this activity, performing loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord, one will get satisfaction within the heart. Like that he says. Then he says, now, who is that personality to whom one should perform that bhakti? And what will happen? कोई बोलेगा, okay, I will do loving devotional service unto the Lord. I will do bhakti, pure bhakti. What will happen? What will happen by doing this bhakti? So text number 7, yes. He says, Sutta Goswami says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janyatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chad Hetukam. But if somebody will perform a Hetuki Bhakti, causeless bhakti, if someone will do this Vasudeva Bhagavati, he will perform bhakti to Vasudeva, Krishna, son of Vasudeva. If somebody will do bhakti to Krishna, then what will happen? Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. What will happen? It will be completely, what will come? Janyat yasu vairagyam jnanam cha atahetukam. What will happen? What will happen? Vairagya and Gyan will come. Two things will happen. As soon as one will perform pure devotion, one will perform bhakti, क्या होगा? दो चीज आएगा. पहला वैराग्य और दूसरा ज्ञानम. First detachment and second is knowledge. These two things will. आप इस संसार में देखो हर किसी को ज्ञान चाहिए, right? And everyone wants some kind of detachment also. The cause of our all problem is attachment in this world, right? Why we are suffering? Because of the attachment. Everyone in this material world, they are suffering, they are getting problems in the life just because of attachment with the material object. So Sutta Goswami says, if somebody will perform bhakti, then he will get detachment, he will get vairagya, real vairagya. What is the real vairagya? He will be able to see everything in relation to Krishna. And he will be able to decide, say, these things are not meant for me, so he will not associate with that things. ना कोई चीज है जिसको से मतलब नहीं है ना, that is not meant for his progress in life, उसके जीवन की आवश्यकता नहीं, he will not be attached to that. That is vairagya. And the second thing, he will get the causeless knowledge, jnana. real gyan he will get. That's why one should practice bhakti very sincerely to get this causeless knowledge and detachment from this material world. If somebody will genuinely perform bhakti, then he will get this detachment. अदरवाइज आप देखो बाहर में सिर्फ लोग क्या है, सिर्फ बातें करते हैं ना. कई बार आप लोगों को बोलते हुए सुनेंगे कि क्या ये संसार क्या है, सिर पे ये सब तो मोह माया है. दे जस्ट से इट, दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट, दे डोंट अप्लाई इट. जस्ट ये सब तो मोह माया है, एंड जस्ट टेक हिज फोन एंड हाँ ये सब तो मोह माया है, ये सब मैं लेता हूँ. Then he will be fried out completely, right? They just say it, they don't understand it. So to run this world, attachment is not required, right? One has to perform the duty without attachment, because the attachment is the cause of misery. So just like example is given, so many examples are there. Just like bankers, they get the money from the people, but they are not attached with that money, right? Because they know that is not their money. They know that money belong to that people. So he is doing his duty, right? And because he was doing his duty, he gets his part, he gets his salary. Similarly, everyone has to perform his duty without attachment. That is actually the purpose. But bhakti is still higher than that. Bhakti means you don't actually want anything. Whatever Krishna is giving, you are satisfied with that. So that is actually the real thing, detachment from this world. Then he says, then what will happen with the people who are doing so many activities in this world because they are not doing bhakti? They are not performing bhakti, right? How many people are performing bhakti? Very few people. And others, all other people, they are doing their activity only. They are involved in their just so-called their activity. So, Sutta Goswami says, if somebody is not performing bhakti, then that work is useless. And he compared that work with, he says, dharma swanishtitah pumsha vishwaksena kathasuya notpad ena yatiratim sram eva hi kevalam. He says, one should perform devotional service. And I said, if somebody is not performing devotional service and just doing his activity, and with that activity is not going to give him, not going to bring that bhakti to Krishna, loving devotional service to Krishna, so what is that? That is compared to just like so much useless labor. If they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of God, that is like a sram eva kevalam. That is just a sram, useless labor. Somebody is just doing his activity, just like let's see, one person is there, he worked the whole life, he was just working so much he earned. He just built one big empire for his life, oneself. And what happened? As soon as that he built that empire, what happened? Next day he died. So he is not able to enjoy that. Still, if he enjoy also, what will happen? That is just useless. Why? Because one day he is going to die and everything is going to finish at a time. Let's suppose one person, he earned so much, he created 4 or 5 bank accounts, and every account he was having crores and crores rupees. One day he died. He is not able to utilize that. So that's why Sutta Goswami says, if somebody is doing so much work, so much labor, and that thing is not connected with Krishna, then that is just a labor only, useless labor. That is complete destroy his life. This is dharma swanishtita pumsa. Pumsa means for the mankind. If that activities, that that activity is not bringing any attraction for Krishna. That's why whatever activity we are doing, one should connect that with Krishna. जो भी हम कर रहे हैं उसको भगवान के साथ जोड़ना ही पड़ेगा. नहीं जोड़ेंगे then that is just useless. Here Sutta Goswami is saying like that. So he says in Purport, Prabhupada says, foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the body and mind. So you see there are so many foolish people. Means people are there. Everyone is outside foolish because they don't know what is body and what is soul. They don't have knowledge of soul and body. And because they are not having knowledge of body and soul, they whole life they work just for the body. Just like the example is given of the donkey. The donkey, whole life the donkey work for grass under the washerman. Washerman every day, washerman put some cloth on the the donkey, and donkey used to come from his home to the pond like that. And the donkey thinks by doing this he will get some grass, some bundle of grass, and he was doing like that. One day another donkey came from the jungle and told this donkey, "Arey, what are you doing? You are doing so much hard labor. You don't know there are unlimited and a variety of grasses there in jungle. You come with me." And this donkey was saying, no. I don't believe you. You know, I have seen every day after doing this activity only I get grass. Without doing this activity, I don't get grass. So how I can believe you? So that is the thing. You know, that is the thing. Unlimited grass is there, but this donkey is not able to believe that, not able to follow that. Similarly, that because he was not having that information, Similarly, people don't have that information of the body and soul. The question of the satisfaction of the self is raised here. And that's why how one will get satisfaction, because we don't know ourselves. First of all, how I will get satisfaction when I will know myself only, na? Just like a let's suppose this is the phone. This is phone is there. I have to charge it, but I should know now what kind of charger will fit with this phone. Let's suppose I will try with some charger which is not meant for this phone, and if I will try to charge this phone with that charger, what will happen? That will not work. So first of all, I should get that knowledge what kind of charger will fit in this phone. Similarly, first of all, we should get that knowledge how I will get satisfaction in my life. Then I will work upon that. But people don't know this. They just from the beginning of their life, from the childhood only, they are running after something what they are seeing, what media is showing, what people have told them, just following that without understanding what will satisfy their heart, why they are meant, right? They don't know actually what is the happiness only. That's why here Sutta Goswami is saying this. Similarly, such a wonderful conversation, he says so many nice verses. Text number 10 is said about what should be the life's desire, what should be, how our life should get directed, how we should lead our life, कैसा जीवन हमें जीना चाहिए, उसके बारे में बताते हैं. तो बोलते हैं सुत गोस्वामी वर्ष ही सेज कामस्सनेन्द्रिय प्रीति लोभ जीवेत यादव जीवस्य तत्व जिज्ञासा नार्थो यस्येह कर्म भी. He says कामस्य इंद्रिय प्रीति. He says life's desire should never be directed. जीवन का जो लक्ष्य है वो कभी भी इस दिशा में नहीं होना चाहिए. विच दिशा? इज नेवर बी डायरेक्टेड टुवर्ड्स द सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन. इंद्रिय तृप्ति की ओर कभी भी हमारा जीवन नहीं जीना चाहिए. इंद्रिय तृप्ति के लिए कोई कितना भागेगा उतना ही उसको जीवन में दुख मिलेगा. जितना वो इंद्रिय तृप्ति के पीछे जाएगा उतना ही ज्यादा वो जीवन में दुखी होएगा। इंद्रिय तृप्ति किसको बोलते हैं? अपनी इंद्रियों को तुष्ट करने का प्रयास करना, उसको आनंद करने। तो फिर क्या होना चाहिए बोल रहे हैं? वन शुड नेवर बी one's desire should never be directed towards a sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or the self preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be goal of one's work. Nothing else should be the goal of. What's be the goal of human life? So goal should be to inquiry about the absolute truth. Athato Brahma jigyasa. What kind of jigyasa? Athato Brahma jigyasa. One should inquire about the absolute truth. One should jigyasa जीवस्य तत्व जिज्ञासा। जीवन का लक्ष्य होना चाहिए कि भगवान के बारे में जानने का। जितना इंद्रिय तृप्ति के पीछे भागेंगे उतना ही क्या होगा? उसको दुख मिलेगा। और जितना वो कम भागेगा इंद्रिय तृप्ति के पीछे उतना ही संतुष्ट होएगा, उतना ही संतुष्ट रहेगा। You can apply this in your life. You just try to be sometime, just be devotional, do nothing too much, don't go after material happiness, and you will see how much you are satisfied. How much? Prahlad Maharaj says in 7th canto, he says this to his classmate. We are getting this material happiness from so many lifetimes, and we are enjoying this from so many lifetimes. Still we are not satisfied, because this material happiness is never going to satisfy our heart. So better engage yourself in the service of Supreme Lord, and by serving ye will get satisfaction. He says like, so here the goal of life is given. Goal of life, what should be the goal of life? Then he Sud Goswami says, what is this absolute truth? भगवान कौन है? What is the तत्व जिज्ञासा? तत्व जिज्ञासा क्या है? किस तरह का जो हम जिज्ञासा कर रहे हैं वो क्या है? क्या तो शास्त्र से दिस इज भगवान कैन दिस तत्व जीवस्य तत्व जिज्ञासा, दिस कैन बी अंडरस्टैंड इन 3 phases, है ना? क्या क्या है 3 फेज? भगवान को भगवान के रूप में जानना। जैसे कई लोग बोलते हैं ना भगवान निराकार है ना? अब भी रिसेंटली एक वीडियो आया था, भगवान निराकार है, भगवान कोई आकार नहीं है। बट शास्त्र सेज नो, नॉट लाइक दिस, दैट एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ, दैट तत्व कैन बी रियलाइज्ड इन 3 phases, 3 रूप में जाना जाता है। वो 3 रूप क्या है? ब्रह्मन, परमात्मा एंड भगवान। ब्रह्मन इज द इम्पर्सनल फॉर्म, निराकार है, निराकार रूप है। उसके बाद परमात्मा जो योगी लोग ढूंढते हैं हृदय में, वही ब्रह्म परमात्मा है, या फिर वही भगवान परमात्मा के रूप में। और द अल्टीमेट ऑफ दिस फेज इज भगवान स्वरूप। जिसको भगवान जो है दर्शन हो गया, उसको बाकी की आवश्यकता नहीं। जो भगवान को नहीं समझ सकता वो निराकार रूप को जानने का प्रयास करता है। निराकार रूप से थोड़ा ऊपर उठता है तो क्या है? परमात्मा के रूप में जानने का प्रयास करता है। अब परमात्मा से ऊपर उठेगा तो उसको क्या मिलेगा? भगवान का जो नित्य सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप है वो जानने को मिलेगा। लेकिन आप देखो आजकल ऐसे लोग भी है समाज में जो अपने आप को जो बड़े बड़े साधु बोलते हैं, लेकिन उनको इसके बारे में जानकारी ही नहीं है। जानकारी नहीं कि ये भगवान के 3 रूप क्या है। भागवत बोल रहा है, और क्या ऐसे लोग क्या भागवत से बड़े हो गए क्या? जो कुछ भी उटपटांग कमेंट्री कर दी, नहीं भगवान मूर्ति पूजा कुछ नहीं है, मूर्ति पूजा तो हम इसीलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि उसको समझना है। नहीं, अपने मन से कमेंट नहीं। यहाँ बोल वदंति तत्व तत्वविदत् यत् ज्ञानम अद्वयम ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवान इति शब्दते। वदंति तत्वविदस्, बोले जो तत्व ज्ञात हैं, जो तत्व को जानने वाले लोग हैं, जो तत्व को समझे हैं, है ना, ऐसे लोग बताते हैं कि इसे 3 रूप में जाना जाता है। कौन लोग बताते हैं? सुद गोस्वामी ऐसा भी नहीं बोल रहे कि मैं जान रहा हूं, मैं बता रहा हूं। क्या बोल रहे? रेफरेंस दे रहे हैं। किसका रेफरेंस दे रहे हैं? जो तत्व को जानते हैं। और आज करके लोग बोलते हैं कि मेरे हिसाब से, जहां तक मैंने समझा है। अरे तुम क्या समझे अपने जीवन में? तुम्हारी औकात ही क्या है समझने के? हाँ, समझ ही क्या सकते हैं 10 साल 50 साल के जीवन में हम क्या एक्सपीरियंस ले सकते हैं हम। इसीलिए सुध गोस्वामी बोलते हैं वदंती तत्त्वविदस, देशे वदंती, देशे कौन, तत्वविदम, जो तत्व को जानने वाले लोग हैं, जो लर्नेड स्कॉलर हैं, जिन्होंने इस तत्व को समझ लिया है, भागवत के तत्व को जान लिया है, ये सारे तत्व को समझा है, वो कहते हैं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवान इति शब्दते। वो कहते हैं कि इसको 3 रूप में जाना जाता है, ब्रह्मेति कि इम्प्रेशनल फॉर्म में, परमात्मेति परमात्मा के रूप में, फिर भगवान इति। दांत को क्यों रगड़ रहा है? तो भगवान है ना, भगवान के रूप में। These are the 3 फेज एंड वन शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस। इसीलिए परंपरा में नॉलेज लेना बहुत जरूरी। वन शुड गेट दिस नॉलेज इन द परंपरा, नॉट फ्रॉम एनी सो कॉल्ड साधु, अदरवाइज योर माइंड विल बी कंप्लीटली वास्ट अवे, है ना। आजकल so many bogus things are coming in society. So now in text number 12, Sud Goswami says तत्रद्धधानस्य मुन्यो ज्ञानं वैराग्य युक्तवा पश्यन्ति आत्मनि चात्मानं भक्त श्रुता गृह्यता। The serious inquisitive student says, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realize that absolute truth by rendering devotional service terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. बोलते हैं कि now that serious student, who is that serious student? One who is inquisitive, है ना, asking some question. One who is serious, one who is equipped with ज्ञान and वैराग्य, है ना, ज्ञान और वैराग्य है। वो जो है इसे, इस जो 3 फेज है भगवान को जानने का, ब्रह्म परमात्मा और भगवान, इसको कैसे समझता है? बाय रेंडरिंग डिवोशनल सर्विस। भगवान के सेवा में अपने आप को लगाने से वो इन तीनों चीजों को समझ पाएगा, समझता है। और जब भगवान की सेवा में लगाएगा तो क्या सेवा में लगेगा? जब वो सेवा करेगा तो ऐसे ही हर्ड फ्रॉम द वेदांत श्रुति, जिन्होंने इसको ऑलरेडी जो सुना हुआ है ना, उस परंपरा में आएगा नॉलेज, और वहां से जब वो सुनता जाएगा तो ही विल गेट दैट रियलाइजेशन। सो इट इज गिवन टेक्स्ट नंबर 12। सो यहाँ पर जो है अलग अलग तरीके से शुद्ध गोस्वामी जो है नैमिषारण्य के ऋषियों को पहले बता रहे हैं, है ना, व्हाट इज द अल्टीमेट गुड, व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ। हमारा जीवन सिर्फ, वन शुड नॉट बी डायरेक्टेड फॉर द सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन, रेदर वंस लाइफ, the desire of the life should be to satisfy the supreme transcendental Lord, like that he was telling. So now he says what is the society, how this society will go, and how this society will run, and how the society will achieve the supreme occupation. इसे अतः पुंभी द्विजा श्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रम विभागशा स्वनिष्ठित धर्मस्य संसिद्धिम हरितोषणम। बोलते दिस सोसाइटी इज डिवाइडेड इनटू द 4 वर्ण एंड आश्रम। व्हाट इज दैट? 4 वर्ण इज ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य एंड शूद्र। दीज आर द 4 वर्ण। देन 4 आश्रम, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas. These are the 4 ashramas. So it says atah kumbhi dvija shrestha. This human society is divided in that, and they can achieve the supreme occupation by pleasing the supreme personality of Godhead. Based among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste division and orders of the life is to please the supreme personality of Godhead. That is actually the purpose. So समाज में जितने लोग हैं ना, हर किसी का उद्देश्य यही होना चाहिए, भगवान की संतुष्टि के लिए कार्य करे ना। हर कोई इफ ही इज न्यूज वाला है, मीडिया वाला है, तो उसको ही शुड स्प्रेड नॉलेज ऑफ भागवत. If he is some other person, let's suppose everywhere, whoever he may be, he should do that activity just for the please to Supreme Lord. उसके जीवन का लक्ष्य, जो भी कार्य करो, कार्य किस दिशा में डायरेक्टेड होना चाहिए? For the satisfaction of the Lord. Human society all over the world is divided into the 4 castes and the 4 orders of life. The 4 castes are the intelligent caste, the martial caste, the productive caste and the laborer caste. एंड हम देखते हैं हर तरह लोग विश्वास करें ना करें, बोलते हैं ना कि 4 वर्ण आश्रम ये सब नहीं मानते, लेकिन आप देखो ऑलरेडी इसके बाद भी सोसाइटी डिवाइडेड है, 4 वर्ण में डिवाइडेड है. आप ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य शूद्र मत बोलो, लेकिन अभी हम उसको दूसरे शब्द बोलते हैं. पहला क्या बोलते हैं? इंटेलिजेंट क्लास, है ना. इंटेलिजेंट क्लास यानी कि जो गाइड कर रहा है सोसाइटी, जो देश कैसे चलेगा, है ना, क्या बोलते हैं, बता रहे हैं, पॉलिसीज दे रहे हैं. फिर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन क्लास जो देश की रक्षा के लिए है, अलग है कि नहीं. उसके बाद ऐसे भी लोग हैं देश में जो प्रोडक्टिव क्लास है, जो दोज हु आर बिजनेस क्लास, राइट, दैट इज द वैश्य, अर्निंग, दे आर अर्निंग. और उसके बाद कुछ ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो काम कर रहे हैं मात्र उनके अंडर में, तो दे आर शूद्र. तो ऑलरेडी हम ये नाम नहीं बोले, दूसरा नाम बोले, लेकिन ऑलरेडी सोसाइटी डिवाइडेड है कि नहीं. क्या सब समान है क्या भारत में? एवरीवन इज डूइंग डिफरेंट एक्टिविटी, एवरीवन इज एंगेज्ड डिफरेंटली. सो ऑलरेडी सोसाइटी इज डिवाइडेड. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव क्लास इज देयर, देन प्रोडक्टिव क्लास इज देयर, देन लेबरर क्लास इज देयर, और सबका डीलिंग भी अलग होता है. सो ऑलरेडी सोसाइटी इज डिवाइडेड. ये क्योंकि दिस सिस्टम इज मेड बाय Lord Krishna only. That's why this system will never be ruined by anyone. हाँ, हालांकि ये जो रहेगा, लेकिन कैसा रहेगा? ऐसे रहेगा कि लोगों को पता नहीं चलेगा और अपने कर्तव्य भूल जाएंगे लोग. They will forget their duty. Like that. So many things are discussed in chapter. I will read this purport. Nice purport is there. Then again there are 4 orders like, उसके बाद 4 आश्रम है, ब्रह्मचारी, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ और संन्यास. ये क्या है? आप देखो इसमें भी हर कोई, हम नॉर्मली हर कोई जीएगा. स्टूडेंट लाइफ इज देयर, राइट. स्टूडेंट लाइफ हर कोई जाता है स्टूडेंट लाइफ में. दैट इज लाइक अ ब्रह्मचारी लाइफ. स्टूडेंट लाइफ वन विल जस्ट गेट नॉलेज, सो ब्रह्मचारी लाइफ इज सेम, वन विल acquire knowledge of the Vedic Shastra. Then householder life, गृहस्थ आश्रम. द रिटायर्ड, यहाँ भी रिटायर हो रहे हैं ना, कितने साल में रिटायर हो जाते. गवर्नमेंट हैज डिसाइडेड द एज, है ना. व्हाट इज द एज? 62, 60. अगर कोई 60 है, 60 हो गया, बोलेगा नहीं मैं काम करूंगा, तो गवर्नमेंट क्या बोले? नहीं तेरा हो गया, अब नहीं अलाउ नहीं करेगा. सो दैट इज ऑलरेडी देयर. रिटायरमेंट इज है ना, पॉलिसीज देयर. 60 हो गया, आप बंद करो, अब नहीं करना है आगे. रिटायर्ड लाइफ, वानप्रस्थ उसको बोलते हैं, वानप्रस्थ. और रिटायर होने के बाद घर में रहता है थोड़े दिन, अब बच्चे, फिर बच्चे बोलते हैं अब हो गया आपका, दैट इज संन्यास. सो इट इज ऑलरेडी देयर. सो वन शुड वॉलंटरली टेक अप दिस, है ना, जबरदस्ती नहीं. थोपे कोई देगा तब प्रॉब्लम है. वन शुड टेक अप दिस. One should voluntarily go by the brahmachari ashram, then grihastha, then vanprastha और sannyas. अगर voluntarily अपनी इच्छा से जाएगा, then he will be happy. नहीं तो आप देखो ना, आजकल लोगों को घर में रहना चाहते हैं, लेकिन बच्चे बोलते हैं नहीं घर में नहीं रहना है, आपको हम क्या बोलते हैं, वृद्धाश्रम में डालेंगे, हम वहाँ पैसे भेज दिया करेंगे. So these things are there. In the best interest of human society, there must be such division. Okay, like, okay, so we'll stop here. Time is very much up. So anybody is having any question, then you can ask. Otherwise, I will end here.